Bryce D, aka Pops the American Dad.
Mr. Gold, Gold Go, or Coach G for short, either or.
I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend because I know I definitely did.
Man, felt good, but it was hot.
Yeah, definitely. And if you are new coming in with us, make sure you drop your city in the comments. Let us know where you're from so we can show some love from my city to yours. And if you are new, just know that you are rocking with the hottest father and son live show on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, down the
I
street,
don't
round
think
the
there's
corner.
no other place though, to be honest with you, Pops. I don't really see too many people that can kind of contest what we're doing simply because we are definitely going with love. We are definitely pushing high vibrations, and we are definitely standing to be the coldest on every single grounds that we walked on for sure.
Facts. And we welcome everybody in. We're going to do a little maintenance. I'm going to share it out to our groups to make sure all our people can tap in with us. And we have another great conversation today. So we look forward to getting your input because remember, your input is important. And when you come through the door, don't be scared to tap that like button when you come in. Because hey, this one of them places where you could come in and show some love. What's up to my man Tommy Harrison?
Everybody that's coming in, I want y'all to drop y'all cities. I want y'all to drop where y'all from. Tell us the vibration that y'all feeling right now. All right, I just shared it out on my end.
Yeah,
I'm locked in on my end.
Yeah, I'm just taking care of it over here.
Now take your time, Pop.
Just
I'm
make
looking at it to say for what it is. At this time, it's the start of every good show.
you know.
What they say, it's the start of every great show. Doing what we have always done.
Yeah, and I just want to address something that happened a little bit earlier with me in the comments today. A lot of times I think folks think that I be coming down real hard, whether it's on the guys, on the ladies that make the videos that we react to. But truthfully, I want you to know I speak from a traditional standpoint. It's just that simple.
And another thing too, I think a lot of times, pops, people forget that you represent the elders, you
Truth.
represent the old heads. And one thing for sure, two things for certain, when having conversations, everybody should be able to have their own opinion. Just because my opinion don't align with your opinion, don't mean that my opinion is more valid or yours is less
Facts.
valuable. I look at it and say for what it is. There's no big eyes, little U's in the conversations of what we're having,
Facts.
especially amongst the masses.
So yeah, charge it to my head, not my heart. If sometime I say something that might ruffle your feathers, but remember one thing: the truth don't always come easy. And if Pops is gonna unbox it, understand that Uncle Rice is gonna make sure that I give it to you like a 3-2 pitch down the plate, 100 miles per hour. I'm pitching heat.
And you know what though? That's why I say we give a perfect balance. Cause game from Coach G, I look at it and say for what it is. It might not be it might not be what you want to hear sometimes, but it's gonna come like how don't you know how they say God come on time?
Yeah,
Game gonna
always.
come on time for sure, for sure.
Always, definitely, definitely. So, and what's going on? We got Miss Chelsea in the building. We appreciate you coming in. We appreciate you coming in. And if you got a joy or anything like that that's going on, or something that's going on that's bad right now, don't hesitate to drop it in the comments.
Just
And
be
if
gospel when I hear that.
yeah, and the truth is, if you got anything that's going on, a situation that you want to discuss, if we don't get to it on this show, we damn sure gonna get to it on some show.
I agree.
It's just that simple. So a lot of the videos today go was I was noticing how many people just seem like they put money over family and love. And welcome in, Miss Jameson. Miss Jameson, welcome in, my man, aficionado brother. I appreciate y'all coming in. Hey, we gonna shout you out if you come through and show some love. I'm gonna let you know that now.
For sure.
But like I was saying though, why is it that it seems like nowadays people be so fixated on money? I thought dating was to get to know a person, though.
Mm. To be honest with you, pops, I think it's teaching. If you see your mom or your dad always chasing after money, I think you're gonna chase after money. I think mindset behind the value of money, it goes off of what your people and what they instill in you.
Now, what I would say to that though, what about the people that grow up and their parents struggle?
Mm.
They parents struggled. I mean, drop a one in the chat if you grew up with some struggle in your life. Drop a one in the chat because I'm gonna drop one for me right now. If you grew up with some struggle in your life and you see the offsprings of those same families out here thinking that they should get a woman that makes 500,000 or a man that make $1 million, but you came from the struggle. So if your people didn't have it, what would make you think you should have it?
Mm,
If your people didn't raise you up to have it, why is that an expectation
to have it.
or even a demand?
Okay. I'm gonna say this, Pops. I think it's taught as kids to have unrealistic expectations.
Okay.
And as kids, I think it's given to them as innocent, like it's as an innocent thing.
Okay.
You'll tell a kid you can fly.
Yeah.
Mother can't
You
fly.
could be anything you want to be.
You really probably can't.
You might not be able to.
So I think those unrealistic expectations are given to kids throughout life on the lines of saying, hey, from your people especially, or friends or outsiders, unrealistic expectations are something that's more common to have than to have a realist mindset. It's not common to run into people that think in logic.
Now, with you saying that, it brings me to a question, Gold.
Let's go.
How old is too old for a parent to allow their child to get and still live in their house? I'm not talking about the child that moved out and had to come home because they fell upon hard times. I'm talking about the one that ain't never moved, the one that never left. How old is too old? And do you believe that thing about what when they get 18 and 21, soon as they get grown, they got to get going?
I think it goes off a maturity level instead of age.
Okay.
There's people that's 18 that were so immature that you would be like, are you even 18?
I feel that.
And then there were people that were 18 that if you talk to them, you would be like, all right, you got a good head on your shoulders. If you stay this way, you're going to be this way. And then it's going to be this way and so on and so forth. So I think it just kind of just, you know.
For me, I don't think it's a particular age. Just like you said, I believe that it is a maturity level.
That's what I was going to say. To give an age on it, I wouldn't really have
But do you all think it's a certain age that you should say, hey, look,
I would love to hear that.
You're too damn old to be in my basement now, Barney. You've been
Okay,
down there,
so-
Betty. You've been
okay.
down there too long. You're 41.
Let's say this. If you are able and capable of getting your own crib, I think anything past 20, 25, you shouldn't be trying to go to your people crib or be back in your people's crib.
Nah, I'm talking not going back. I'm talking about never left.
25.
25.
Because 25 is the thought of saying that at that age, I genuinely feel like that person will be efficient in life, or you should be. You should have the tools and fuels that you need.
I agree. I agree. Now, Chelsea said, I'll never put mine out. They're going to want to move out, though, after a while. They're going to want to get out from under my roof because of my rules. Now, for me, I won't say that I won't never put them out. And the only reason I'm saying that is because we have to understand that when we enable our children, sometimes we do have kids that will stay forever if you don't tell them to move around.
Okay.
My man Kenneth say, you got to do whatever you can. And shout out to my man Kenneth. Hey, he got them fly suits.
I want to kind of go up to Mr. Donald.
Let's go.
Money isn't the end of all. And
the end all be all.
Yeah, and that's what I want to kind of pin to really quick. I want to go on record to say I think genuinely when it comes down to men, money isn't it all, but money is a huge factor. Romance with no finance is a nuisance. Have you ever had a great idea with no money behind it?
Yeah, don't work too good. Do it.
Have you ever liked somebody and wanted to kind of, hey, we vibing. We vibe. Money matters. I look at it and say for what it is. A lot of times people, and no knock to any situation because I read it in full, like it's just segueing from it. But when it comes down to men looking at money or women looking at money, I genuinely believe that money is a key factor in how a man is going to move. If a man has money in his pocket, you're going to see a man move a little bit different than if a man doesn't have money in his pocket.
Okay.
When a woman have money in her pocket, you're going to see her move a little bit different than a woman with no money in her pocket. And I know a lot of times people, especially you'll see people with trust funds talk down on people with triumphs. But I would look at it and say for what it is, in my head and my heart, triumph people are talking down on people with trust funds. But the reality to it is money does kind of move.
Now, Miss Shay said, I won't put you out, but I will definitely find you a place when I think that you're ready. And I don't actually think enough parents do that.
I agree.
We got a lot of parents that'll say it's time for you to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for you to go. And like Chelsea said, I believe the ones that don't want to leave get too comfortable. And when they get too comfortable as a parent, when you see it, what would be wrong with you helping them along the way? Meaning, I'm gonna find you a place because you can't be here forever.
I want to piggyback on something OG said. Um, Shay said that when you like find your person a crib, it helps them out. It does, because I think it's a perception thing. One parent is going to kick you out, and another parent is going to level you up. I feel like the parent that's going to kick you out and say, "All right, you're 18, you got to go up out here in this world." The world get big fast.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, it get big fast. You start trying to realize, hey, how do I even get mail sent to me? Like, what the hell? Like, it's the simple things that I think genuinely people just give up on in life. It's simple things.
It is true.
That person that gets that opportunity to say, hey, you are going to get this crib, and this is how you get this crib. This is how you maintain this crib.
Facts.
Hey, before you have it, it's your household.
No
You
sugar.
should never, ever, 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 ever fall short if you do it this way, and it deems to be true.
Now, I believe that you gotta help your kids as much as you can, but like my man Kenny say, your parents got to teach the kids something besides just throwing them out. And the thing is, just like Gold said, you can either throw them out or you can level them up. And I asked this question about how old is too old for your kids to never have moved out and still be at home, because I watched the video and I reacted to a video where a man said you got to start putting your kids out. You got to start putting your kids out the house.
I'm gonna say it though. I think it's a double standard when it comes to it though.
Okay, let's talk.
Men are looked at differently when they're at home versus when women are at home.
That's true.
So when a woman is at home and she's never left, like we're gonna stick to she's never left.
Right.
If a woman has never left the household and she said at 27 or at 30, hey, I still live with my mom for whatever reason. I take care of my mom, or I'm just living.
It's more accepted.
It's more accepted than a man being able to say, hey, you know what? Hey, I live with my mama. Hell, he could take care of his mom.
Yeah, I want y'all to drop in the comments, because Gold, that's a great point.
Feel me?
I want y'all to drop in the comments if you think there's a different perception of a man who's 30 who still lives at home and a woman who's 30 who still lives at home.
Drop a 1 if you think there is a difference. Drop a 2 if you think there's not. But drop a small response on behind why do you think so?
Exactly, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Herman said, mine know they can always come back home if needed, but it's important they make their own path. And when we speak about the path that our kids are making, is it wrong for a parent to make sure they mow that lawn a little bit for them so that path ain't full of so many thorns?
I think that parent would have wanted their parent to do the same for them.
Facts.
So I think genuinely it's just trying to be better than the person that was before you. Not really. They both need to be on their own by then.
Okay.
Agree.
Kenneth said a man's supposed to come as a provider. Now, this brings me to another question, and good comment, Ken. I got another question then. If men are supposed to come as the provider, meaning show up originally as the provider, does that mean that that man should not date before he gets in a position to provide? Or should they be able to build?
I don't think a man, and Ken, I would want you to drop your comment on the back end of this too. I genuinely think that men shouldn't be dating when you don't have a purpose. I think if your pocketbook is not right, you shouldn't be trying to find a person. Simply because when you don't have your purpose and whatever I don't care if you're a librarian, and I was just saying this, if you're not the king of books or the queen or the goddess of books in your head, like you walking in your purpose, I don't feel like you should be in front of somebody purposeless on the lines of saying like, hey, you know what, I'm just in front of you.
I'm here.
I'm just here.
I like you, because there's a video that I'm gonna make sure that we put on the page tomorrow, Gold, where a young lady, and I want y'all to hear this scenario and tell me your opinion. A young lady sitting on a bus. She gets off the bus, and as she gets off a bus, a man that rides the bus with her every day when she goes to work, he's going to work too. He gives her a letter. He doesn't say anything, but he gives her a letter. She gets off of the bus first. She opens the letter, and it's a long, drawn out letter about how he thinks that this might be his first time experiencing love at first sight. He would love to take her out. Girl, I'll spoil you, this, that, and the third. And it made me think to myself, when you said a man shouldn't be in front of a woman without being in his purpose, why, if you're on the bus with her and you're not man enough to walk up to her and present, why is it that you would feel like you should be approaching her? And was he wrong to approach that way, or was that a good way to approach?
I think conversation over via messages or writing something down, text message, or even in paper, I think conversation is always going to outweigh that. So I would automatically say you're wrong. Like if you're a person that's DMing her over directly approaching her, I'm automatically going to say you're wrong.
Okay.
So because you're on the same level of her, the same level as her. If you're on the bus and she's on the bus, hey, I'm stepping to you like a moth to a flame.
Come on.
I'm looking at it to say for what it is. At that moment, it should be um that moment should drive you to want to go talk, whether it's I'm getting rejected or I'm not getting rejected. And when I get rejected, or if I get the number, whatever the outcome of it is, respectfully, thank you for giving me your time, energy, and effort in this moment.
And Chelsea said a letter is weird, especially if we on the same bus every single day.
Say something.
But the statistics say that it's about 50% of men that's under the age of 30 that's never approached a woman in public.
But you know what though, Pops? Don't you know how most times you'll see the old head disagree with the younger and the younger disagree with the older when they say things of such?
Yeah.
I can't disagree with that. I've seen more like quick story. I was walking with a group of guys before, and I'm not gonna out nobody, but I was walking with a group of guys before, and when I was walking with a group of guys before, I noticed that the guys that I was walking with seen a couple of females that they found attractive.
Okay.
And when they found those females attractive, I seen a female that I found attractive. And in the process of finding that female attractive, I walked up to the female that I found attractive.
Okay.
They followed behind me. So mind you, in the process of me having a conversation with the female I found attractive, I'm noticing like when I look over, nobody else is enjoying their time.
Nobody else is trying to vibe with none of the
Nobody is. The guys is doing this.
They looking at their phones, waiting for you to get done, so maybe you might get a friend for them.
The females that are hearing the vibrations that I'm creating, a couple of them are coming and adding into the conversation. I'm looking at
because they're not saying nothing.
The group is equal.
Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard then for young men today to approach? Is it because ladies have told young men not to approach them?
That's no excuse. To be denied, I genuinely would say that's not a reason for you not to love. To be denied, I would go on record to say I would rather, and you said it before we popped on about something totally different. I would rather always be a stand-up vibe type of guy than a knees in the dirt type of man.
Oh, facts.
For sure.
Facts. You know that. I feel that all day, every day.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I want to just go back to a comment that I seen a little bit earlier. And when we were talking about a good man showing up as a provider, what is the equivalent if when a man approaches a woman, he should already have that provider vibe, according to Kenneth now. What is the equivalent that the woman brings to that encounter?
Easy. She better be attractive. I think that's the first thing. She better be attractive.
Okay.
She better be disciplined. She better have comforting characteristics. Like her characteristics got to be through the roof. Liberating and loyal, enthusiastic and exuberant.
Okay. I like the enthusiastic and the exuberant when it comes down to when you first walking up on somebody, because I don't think a lot of guys can tell if a young lady is not interested nowadays.
Shit, you lying to me. Hey, I look at it and say for what it is. If best way to tell if somebody is interested in you is not if the lighting is changing, but from how their pupils are, if they're dilating or if they're constricting.
Facts.
If you're looking at a woman and she's rocking with you for real, think about the movies. The movies, her pupils are gonna be bigger than them. Like, man, hey, she likes what she sees.
And a lot of times I want to go with that goal because body language is important. When you walk up, you got to see who's facing you, who's looking at you, who's laughing your way. And a lot of people don't know how to read body language, and they think, oh, man, that don't mean nothing. But when you inside of a loud, noisy club, or whatever setting that you might be in, and well, it might not be a club, but it might be a place where it's a gathering, it's a social gathering. In
Let's go.
let's just say social gathering.
Let's go.
You approach a group of women, which a lot of guys say I would never walk up on a group of women, which I don't understand why you wouldn't if you present correctly.
Truth.
I mean, because you can start the conversation with everybody, but you have to be able to pay attention to the people that's paying attention to you. And I think many times guys go with what they like more than what likes them.
And I think it's easier for people to chase after something that they don't feel that they'll get. And that's why you see guys that, like, no disrespect, because I'm gonna go a little hard with this.
That's a built-in excuse.
I was gonna say you will see guys that's medium schmuggly, get a pretty girl, and they don't know how they got
his confidence.
But TP Pops, it's a whole different thing I'm going with.
Oh, that's right.
You will see a medium ugly guy get a
Beyonce, let's say,
and he don't know how to maintain her. He don't know how to treat her. He didn't even think that far. He was only stuck in the race at that moment. Like, the race was the only thing he went forward to. And I think a lot of times that's why guys shoot that shot at women that they know that they can't get. A lot of men don't walk around with confidence. A lot of men don't walk around with that mindset.
That machismo.
That whether I win, lose, or draw, baby, I had to say something to you. I could not say something to you.
You know,
me not saying something to you make me not me.
It's almost like a lion in the wild.
Truth.
When you come through, and I had somebody, I want y'all to know, I put a post up that had a lion wearing a tuxedo, and it was just saying, hey guys, you know, you got to move with confidence. When a lion walks into a room, whether it's a room of people or he walking through a pride, he gonna turn heads because people need to know what that lion is on.
The only rule I think a lion would probably have, Pops, is when it's hungry, they gonna eat.
And so when you present, that confidence is key, because most times if it's a room full of all guys dressed nicely, all guys who are in that provider mindset, walking in their purpose, what sets those guys apart? And I offer that I don't care how much money some men got, you can't buy natural confidence. It's like natural talent. Natural confidence for a man is like natural talent. Yes, you can work on it, but you can't buy natural confidence.
I would go on record to say, when it comes in, I want to piggyback on what Kenny said, or what Kenneth said. Reject to men can be hurtful.
Facts.
I would go on record to say it shouldn't be, because men get rejected every single day. Like, I mean, it should be one of those things where it should damn near be our strong suit to be able to not only know how to problem solve, but de-escalate a situation that can be a problem at that point. Because genuinely, I would go on record to say, when I see men get rejected and seeing them say, man, hey, B, F you, or hey, woo, woo, woo.
Facts.
Me personally, I think that's the corniest mindset and attitude to have, because it's the 4 SWs that I live off of. Some will, some won't. So what? Somebody's waiting.
Facts.
The irrational confidence of being a good man will make you move almost as if, hey, you missed your beat. I didn't miss mine.
Come on.
Hey, you should take the opportunity to meet me. It's no different than having that Fortune 500 job when you meet a good guy that got confidence. If that guy's at Fortune 500 job, you are going to appreciate the opportunity of them even interviewing you. You don't even have to get the job.
Facts.
So to know it is to know. It's vice versa when you meet a woman with confidence. You will see a woman with confidence, and then you'll see a woman without confidence. They both are pretty, both are outstanding, but the woman with confidence just seems more appeasing
and more appealing, because she's going to move differently. And you know, I genuinely don't know, maybe a lot of guys didn't learn this, but in the sales game, and anybody who worked in sales have you heard this before?
Give it to me.
You don't start selling, whether it's yourself or whatever you're selling, until
you believe it.
They say no. I mean, overcoming objections is what built this country. Overcoming objections is something that used to be natural for men, because it wasn't no internet where you could surf through 900 women, and if you get one to like you, then you feel like you like you Arthur Fonzarelli or
Do you-
somebody.
I think that's the corniest mindset in this world for them to even have apps dedicated to men that would prefer to hide behind a screen.
Come on,
Um,
walk up on them.
I would go on record to say you deserve to lose your lady and deserve to lose your man to the woman or man that's confident enough to walk up on them.
Come on.
Because I would go on record to say when it comes to hiding behind these social sites and making it where you're just whoever, whenever, however, I would go on record to say that person should be entertained by a person that's not afraid to walk up on them and say, "Hey, you're beautiful," versus that person that's texting them, "Hey, yeah, you're beautiful," and when I see you, I wouldn't say nothing.
Humada. He turned around and
Quiet,
crammed it.
man. Yeah, I'm quiet. I don't got nothing to say when I'm talking to you. Our conversations are always awkward when we talking.
It's just like what Chelsea said. We call that assuming the sale because you assume it's sold until they say otherwise. Trust me when I tell you,
60%, man.
I've sold a lot of cars in my life,
True.
and I've sold even more people. And I can tell you that at the end of the day, if a woman or a man lacks confidence, there's going to be something lacking in that encounter. Somebody's going to have to pull up their end. And I'm not saying that people with a lack of confidence don't deserve nobody, but I do say, like Gold said, guys, if you're not walking in your purpose, you should be more focused on finding what you're supposed to be doing than you are who you supposed to be laying with.
I would go on record to say you see so many men and women talk about it was the person, it was the person, it was the person. No. What if it was you? What if it was genuinely your
Facts.
pocketbook? I look at it and say for what it is when talking to people and I wasn't in my purpose versus talking to people when I was in my purpose, I was able to breathe life a little bit better when I felt like I was walking and enjoying whatever I'm doing in that moment versus when I'm just kind of just wasting air and I'm just kind of taking up air.
Facts, because Go. I think people also have to understand that you got to know the difference between somebody that's already built something and somebody that is they're really trying to build. Not when you are walking up on somebody, and guys, this is why guys get rejected sometimes because you're in the building stage and she's already done built some shit. And ladies, same difference. They wonder why a guy who's established won't keep you because you can't build with bro. You're in the building stage, young lady. You should find a man to build with. But we got so many young ladies that want to find a man that's already built something, and they wonder why he don't want to keep them. He don't want to keep you, honey, because he's on floor number 20 and you're on floor number 5, and y'all ain't seeing from the same windows. Y'all not looking at life through the same lens. You're not looking through the same angle.
It's funny you said that, Pops. I want to go segue to some of what you said.
Okay.
1, 5, 10. Like in this life, I feel like we are always in between. And everybody would like to think that we stay at 10, but we don't. Sometimes in this life, we're at 1.
True.
We really might be down. Like sometimes in this life, we really might be, all right, I'm halfway here. I'm here. And other times we feel like, man, I'm 100%. I got the world on my shoulders, but I'm bigger than Mount Everest right now.
No sugar.
I would go on record to say when I think of finding somebody your speed, I would say 1, 5, 10. If you're a 1 right now, you shouldn't be looking for the 10. If you a 10 right now, don't settle for no 1.
Because you not dating ain't supposed to be about help. When people come to you dating for help, it's never it can never work because it's going to be totally imbalanced. My man Kenneth said, I'll help someone really trying to build. I've already built, but don't come to take. And see, that's the one thing about it, brother. And I agree with you 1,000%. But that's the one thing about a person who ain't built anything, who's trying to reach and grab somebody that's already built. It's like you standing on the boat, they in the water where the sharks at, and you stick your hand down there. There is a chance they pull you in the water with sharks.
I want to say this game from Coach G. If you're a giver in this world, for everybody that's watching, for everybody that will watch, if you're a giver in this world, put a limit on how much you're giving because the takers in this world won't ever have a limit on how much they'll take from you.
Facts.
So whether it's your spirit, whether it's your finances, resources, time, energy, effort, whatever, etc.
Yeah, you'll walk
Like,
in like
man,
Morris Chestnut and walk out like a California raisin,
man,
dealing with the right one or the wrong one, I should say.
man,
You'll walk in looking like Morris Chestnut and leave the building looking like a California raisin.
and I think the person that sucked it dry will look at you and tell you, "You gave it to me.
You didn't have to do that
Why did you do it if you didn't want to do it?"
because you got a lot of, I didn't ask you for it. You got a lot of people that when it comes down to it, you ain't had to do that. Ain't nobody tell you you had to do that.
I would go on record to say, and it's so funny because it happens like that. Where when you do those things for people that would look at you and say, "Man, I ain't tell you to do that shit. I ain't tell you to lock in.
Facts.
I ain't tell you to stay.
And
I
you
ain't
really
tell you
can't
to."
be mad.
And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I will look at you whether it's the woman or the man like you're a freaking jerk.
You did it.
You did it. You're a freaking jerk.
And if you did it, y'all seen that little roach meme running around here?
Send a little roach.
Y'all
meme.
seen that? You seen the little? It's a little roach meme.
Nobody told you to do that.
And the thing is about it is that you will come in looking like Set It Off Vivica and end up leaving out looking like 2025 Vivica in a year or two, dealing with the wrong one.
And you know what? I'm gonna say this: the wrong person to set your ass back 5 years.
Man, 10 sometime
or a lifetime.
Man,
1, 5, 10 again.
1, 5, 10 again.
So the wrong person set your ass back 1, 5, 10.
No sugar.
Tenfold.
And the worst part about it is that we genuinely have a lot of people that are in their 40s and 50s and even 60s that are putting the narrative out there that on one side, guys, you ain't about if you can't pay everything. And ladies, he should come through the door ready to save you from whatever bill collectors that's been nipping at your heels for the last 12 months. And that's not it.
Let me say this then. When it comes down to expectations and limitations of people, I think genuinely when you're entering a situation, you should never fall in love with my hand. You should fall in love with my heart. So when it comes down to what I can give you and do those things for you, like let's say for example, if because I can't pay rent for you makes me not a good man, instead of us being partners and saying that you know what, this is how we're going to pay rent, I would look at you and say, hey, you're just not my person. And I think if it's a flip, if a man is telling you, hey, genuinely, what makes me a good person is only because of my money, not my conversation, not the way that I'm going to be a leader, not the way that I'm going to create the decorum of our family, our household, us. If money is just what he has and he holds on to, he's a corn dog. He's a weenie with bread.
If I am paying the rent, I'm living there.
Man.
Simple said put. If I'm paying the car payment, I got keys to it. If I am paying the light bill, damn it, I own the bulbs.
I heard a guy say she asked me for $200 on our first date. Before we went out, I had to get her nails and her hair done. I was like, you paid it? He was like, yeah. And I was looking at him like, that's the problem.
It is.
That's the problem right there. And I feel like it's a flip. It's a flip with everything because everybody feels like I have to get something out of something before I give you something. And the reality to it is that's why transactional relationships should be transactional relationships and traditional relationships should be traditional relationships. And if you're a person that genuinely feels like neither one fits you, create you an unorthodox situation for your happiness. So you can be happy on the road to happiness because everybody else's opinion shouldn't determine how you move in this life.
And happiness is an individual choice.
Truth.
And happiness is something that you choose. You could choose to be happy or you could choose to be in a shitty mood. And a lot of times we don't look at it that way because we seek validation through the person that we with. Like our partner is supposed to be our live entertainment. People talk about, you know what, girl, I don't know if I could be with this man for too long because he too boring. What the hell do you expect that man to be? Like he's supposed to be Gregory Hines tap dancing and shit for you? What is it that you expect from this man? He's boring, but it ain't boring when you getting what you want to get from him, but it's boring when he not going where you want to go or doing the things you want to do. We have to understand that people are individuals and a lot of men don't want to do what you want to do.
I heard something that was scary to me. I heard a man say, 2025 women scare me.
Mm.
And I heard a woman say, 2025 dating scares me.
I've heard that before too.
Heard that. And I think the part that probably made my skin like, ooh, crawl in a way is because when did creating healthy relationships become bad
Or scary.
or scary? Like when it comes down to discernment, like everybody that you work with at your job, you're not gonna like or even know.
Facts.
So why does it play a part with the same when it comes down to dating? Like everybody that you deal with and sit in front of, you're not supposed to lay with anyway. So if this doesn't work out in the conversation, some will, some won't. So what? Somebody's waiting. I'm gonna move around.
But you got so many people though, go that feel like, hey, look, it's working for her or it's working for him. It's so many young men.
But it's like the football thing that you would tell. I remember you told a youngin, and it broke his heart too when you said it. Everybody ain't gonna make it to the NFL.
Nah, bro.
Everybody ain't gonna make it to the NBA.
Hell nah.
So if your cards is being lonely, your cards is just being lonely then. And if your cards is being married, your cards is being married.
But you got to play them right.
You gotta play them.
You got to play them right. And you got to have somebody you could go to that know more about women than you do, bro.
I agree.
You got to have a guy that you could go to. Even if you look back in the day, the old black movies back in the day, and now I'm talking. You will look at a movie like Superfly. You'll look at a movie like Truck Turner. You'll look at a movie like The Mac. You got to have somebody you could lean on. And I'm talking to the guys now.
Yeah,
You got to have somebody.
that's gonna pull your coat. That's gonna be able to tell you when you moving wacky, when you moving weird. Hey, stop that. Hey, you a cornball. Hey, what you got going on?
You need to have that guy. And ladies, same difference. It ain't auntie with the wine cup. It ain't auntie that had all the failed relationships that always want to get advice, but ain't kept nobody in her house long as John stayed in the army. And everybody know he left in 2 weeks.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Pops. I think mom for that daughter will be the reason why that daughter gets out of a toxic situation or why that daughter fixes a situation that's gonna better her and that person. Because you will hear a good mom tell a person, hey, I ain't gonna lie, that's a good man. Go make it right.
You know, that's so true.
You will hear a good mom say, hey, that's a bad man. Hey, baby, you got to get away from him because he's taken from you. A mom that's a good mom is going to tell you, hey, he's good or he's not, but go make it right or go get tailpipes and taillights for him.
I got a story real quick.
Let's go.
So I call my wife Miss Pops. Everybody who didn't check out Miss Pops, you already know what it is. But so back when we was first started dating, and I ain't gonna make this long, so don't worry, y'all. But back when we started dating, you know, me and her got into it because I probably was still trying to run around and shake a move in the streets. And she was at her grandma's house, and I went there, and she snapped on me, told me, you know what, you could get your shit, you can get up out of here. Point blank, period. You could go. Hey, you don't have to come back. So, hey, you know the man I am. I'm about to bounce. I go straight down the stairs, and as I'm leaving, her grandma door pop open. Her grandma said, hey, what's going on? I said, she told me to leave. She said, get that pillow. Here go a cover. You ain't going nowhere. You go to sleep on that couch. You the best boy she done brought through here. That's what grandma said. 25 years later. Hey, I still got her back like a parachute.
Still sharp and still. I feel like a person that loves you is going to tell you, go make that right, especially when they know that's the right person for you. And
you know, I'll tell you in a minute.
Pop. So mindset behind it is the thought of saying as a person, genuinely, it does come to the forefront of if you do have still sharpening steel, you would be that person that if I'm wrong, I'm gonna take accountability. I'm gonna go home and go make this right. You will see women say, you know what, hey, I just chopped it up with my mom, my auntie, or whatever, and I was wrong.
We need to talk.
We need to talk. And I genuinely feel like that narrative is gone because now the still is auntie with the wine cup telling you, man, he did what?
Go back. What the boy that you told me about?
Look how pretty you are.
So
and then it's a flip to the guys. Hey, man, hey, you let her play you, bro. You a goofy. If it wouldn't be me though, I would have did woo woo.
No, he wouldn't have done that shit.
Man, he would have laid up with your lady, stayed with your lady.
He wouldn't have done that. He never had the opportunity to do that.
And if he did, he would have jumped at it.
But you know what we see out here all the time is a bunch of bad players with even worse coaches. So I'm not, when I say bad players, I don't mean that they're bad people.
Kobe Bryant sat on the bench his first couple of years of playing ball because he had a bad coach.
When you don't have a great coach in your corner and you listening to somebody who telling you, look, we gonna do this when it don't play to your strengths, that's how you end up losing all the time. If you don't have somebody who could pull your coattail, because a lot of y'all dudes out here too hard-headed to listen to other men, so you don't have nobody who can pull your coattail, and you wondering why you keep on running into the same woman zipped up in different skin, and the same with the ladies.
For men, I look at it and say for what it is, your person that's pulling your coat is going to be one of two things. It's going to be a good or it's going to be bad. It's either going to be Phil Jackson or Joe Jackson. It's simple. Like it's not. I mean,
and they both
simple.
created stars.
So, and I look at it and say,
yeah,
every human got good in them, so they both created stars.
But Phil created more.
It's simple said.
Phil created more. Even though Joe had Michael, but Tito, Jermaine, Janet we could count up, but the rest of them, yeah, they was the B listers. They was there because Mike was there.
You know how many people Phil can say, hey, I'm the reason why he got jury on his ring,
and the reason he in the Hall of Fame,
and the reason why he's sitting there getting a check every single year.
Come on,
until he gets up out of here.
Come on.
So I would go on record to say the person that you have as your life coach matters, because your life coach is going to be the person that tells you things in the detrimental moments that you will It's like Ricky Bobby. I was just saying this. Ricky Bobby was a moment where he was like, Dad, I lived like this my whole life, because he said, if you're not first, you're last. He said, son, what the hell? You could be second. You could be third. You could be anything and win.
Man, be careful what you say to your sons and your daughters.
In those detrimental moments while you're telling your son or your daughter, okay, well, hey, leave and start it over, or go leave her and find another woman, or go leave dude and find another man, because hey, it's always gonna be another man that wants you. There's always gonna be another woman that wants you. But what if that was God giving me my person, and you just told me to walk away from my person?
And just like Ricky Bobby, I live by these words.
And like Ricky Bobby, he end up hating that shit on the back end.
Yeah.
Losing your friends, family, and others.
Think about how that person whose mama told them, go and leave that man. Think about that woman 10 years later ain't found another man. Her mama done got another man, and her mama happy in her relationship. And when she come to her mama and say, Mama, I should have never listened to you, her mama say, you didn't have to.
No different than the person.
You didn't have to.
For the people that's givers, put a limit on how much you put on the give, because they're going to not have a limit on how much they're going to take, because somebody is going to look at you and say, you didn't have to do that.
You didn't have to do that. Like you didn't have to listen to me.
You didn't have to sit down and tell me your problems.
You didn't have to leave that man. I just told you that because I got tired of you complaining to me. See, that's why I always tell people, make sure you see what they benefit from it before you take their advice. I can't benefit nothing from you taking my advice. You just listening. You just listening. So my thing is, we have to be able to listen to other people and not think we always right. And I know some people jump in and be like, that's what I tell you all the time in the comments, but I'm going to be real with you. A lot of times the shit that people be telling me in the comments don't be right. That's why I'm not agreeing with it.
If you are talking about a good relationship, I think you need to speak from say instead of hearsay. If you've never seen a good relationship, but you heard about good relationships, I don't think you should be speaking on good relationships.
That's real. That'd be like me. I wore a couple nice suits before in my life, but I'll tell the suit maker, man, you need to do this with that suit you making, bro. That don't fit right. I don't think that. How the hell do I sound? I ain't never made a suit in my life, but because I bought 4 or 5 of them, now I can tell the fashion designer.
Because I heard them say the 4 or 5 suits that I had was nice suits. So I think that I know all nice suits.
So now I know more than the professional. And see, that is the problem. See, say and hearsay.
It's different.
That's real, Gold.
It's different.
That's real.
I think that's something that a lot of times people don't look at. But if you're going solely off of hearsay, a person is saying, I heard this is how you can get a good relationship, but hell, I'm not even in a good relationship myself. You should try it, and then if it works for you, good job.
It's just like your grandfather told me a long time ago. If somebody dare you, tell them, show me how.
Mm-mm.
And when somebody tell you to leave your man, they're daring you to live a different life than you were living. And when they tell you to leave your wife, they're doing the same.
And I think genuinely, when you take that dare, when you say, you know what, fuck, I can do it, you might be able to.
You know, I got one last topic before y'all get out of here, and I want to thank everybody for rocking with us. All the comments today, and if you watching still and haven't typed that like, tap that like button. Do that right now.
Let's go.
So, as a married man, do you think it's inappropriate for a married man to go to Hooters with his out of town friends? His family comes in from out of town. They ask him, hey bro, hey man, let's get out tonight. You know, hey, I know your lady ain't tripping on you going nowhere. I want to go to the Tilted Kilt,
Okay.
or I want to go to Hooters.
Anyway,
Is that inappropriate for that man to go?
I'm gonna go on record to say this, Pops. It's the core of that man. Like, if I'm loyal to my woman, like if I'm locked in with my woman, if I'm gonna tell the truth to my woman, if me and my woman is solid, um, I can be around a group of cheaters and it won't make me a cheater. And I'm gonna use the 2025 literature, because obviously birds of a feather don't flock together, because that's what you'll see women say too. They'll say, well, my friend is a promiscuous woman, I'm not a promiscuous woman. So I'm gonna use the same narrative, Pops, and I'm gonna say, if I'm the core of me is not a cheater and not a man that's going out trying to talk to anybody, I would go on record to say, why not?
Is it disrespectful
To the relationship?
Yeah.
It's Hooters. I look at it and say it's no different than Sonic. If they skated out here and they looked good when they skated out here, and you just don't like the way that they look, then that's an insecurity within you.
Now, this lady was 7 months pregnant, and I'm gonna react to the video tomorrow, but she was 7 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make a difference?
No. I look at it and say, for what it is, in my head and my heart, when it comes down to going to get something to eat and going to go kick it with the parties of the individuals that you're kicking it with, that should be the core reason why you're going out. If you're going out with the intentions of kind of going to go do something malice or bogus, then yeah, you foul for it. But if my intentions is going out to go kick it, and I know I don't have no bad ill will behind
You just going to get wings.
Yeah, hell no. I look at it and say, for what is that? I look at you like you fucking crazy if you told me I couldn't go get no wings, or you didn't want me to go get no wings. Actually, on the contrary, I'm going to turn around on you in mid sentence and go get my wings. Like mid sentence, I'm gonna say, pardon my back, and I'm gonna walk off, because I felt like genuinely in that midst of that moment, we jumped timelines.
So it's more disrespectful for her to actually tell him you shouldn't go.
And I ping back to it. Bring the wings back. I would look at it and say, if you're going out with the guys and you know it's a strictly a guy event, I would look at it and ask, like, damn, like, what type of wings do you want back? Versus it being a situation on the lines of, hey, I'm just leaving because I'm really gonna be at the wing spot. So if I'm really gonna be at the wing spot,
I can be at the wing spot.
I can really bring you back some wings. Like, hey, after me and the guys done, hell, I'll bring the wings back hot. I order the wings before I go. But instead of sitting them in the cardboard box with the wings that we ordered on which call it, hey.
So is it insecure?
Yes.
For the young lady who is 7 months pregnant to say, I don't want you going to the Hooters with your family from out of town because of all of those pretty young college girls who are working there?
Yes, because I'm gonna go on record to say, if a man is going to cheat, a man is going to cheat. If a woman is going to cheat, a woman is going to cheat. I look at it and say, for what it is. I genuinely think if you don't trust the person that you're talking to, you shouldn't be talking to that person.
True story.
Like, if that person, all jokes aside, if you can't allow your lady to go out and enjoy herself without worrying about her falling on the next man, that's not your lady, Chico.
Yeah, she's not yours.
Yeah, if you are worried about your guy going out and trying to jump on the next tree that got a little opening to it, I would go on record to say, sweetheart, that's not your guy.
And I know when people watch this, a lot of people will say that she's not insecure. It's disrespectful for him to go. But I genuinely think that we have to get off of that mindset that just because you're not where you want to be physically, mentally, emotionally, that you should tie down your partner.
Mm.
Just because you're not there doesn't mean he shouldn't be there.
I think a lot of times, and I'm gonna piggyback off of that. If it's gonna cause unrest in the house, hey, he should probably try to suggest another place. But hey, I love Hooters. I love the girls. The girls are nice. The food is good. I would go on record to say, when it comes down to it, let's take Hooters out of it, and let's say any restaurant or any place that involves extra females around or extra men around, whatever the case may be. I would go on record to say, if my person told me I'm going here and I knew it would be extra men there, if I'm not going, respectfully, my trust is going with you. So if I'm not there, hey baby, my trust is gonna be passenger seat with you.
No sure.
So I would expect it be flipped when it comes down to, and just game from Coach G, I would expect it to be flipped when it's the back end of it, on the lines of, if you know for a fact that is that, like, you know for a fact that it's that on my end, and I'm putting my trust in your passenger seat when you riding out doing what you're doing, put your trust in my passenger seat and let me do the same.
No sugar. Because at the end of the day, the less you trust your person, the more untrustworthy they will become.
So they can't say we don't have Hooters over here in Scotland, mind you. From when I said it, like, okay, so I agree with it, and I would say, you know what, that's why I just kind of took it out of it and saying we don't have to look at just Hooters. We can look at it from just any place that would involve a lot of women or
Having
a lot of
women
men around you, and you have to trust your partner, because I feel like there's a lot of insecure men and insecure women in this world who would move almost as if um you're, once we start dating, you're in prison. Hey,
So
no.
so then should a man not have a problem with his woman going to a bachelorette party?
Should he not have a problem with
Should
it?
he have a problem if he knows there's gonna be dancers there, dancing all on the girls, yada yada yada? Should that man, is that equivalent?
Yeah, I would look at it and say for what it is. If, let's say for example, if your lady was going to go support her friend and they had like they get together, they shindig,
Yeah.
and they had, hell, let's throw strippers out there. Let's throw the strippers out there who had a baby leg hanging out everywhere. My confidence in me is going to make it where the only thing you're going to do is warm up that Chevy, and she's going to come home and let me drive it.
Okay.
So respectfully, it's a mindset behind, I'm not going to have that thought. If you put yourself in an unsavory situation where you could potentially be harmed or something can happen, then you would hear my reaction be a little bit different. But if it's a event where it's your friends and you know for a fact that she's going to be safe and she's going to be good to and from, and every decision that she has there is going to be off of her choice, I trust the person that I'm sitting next to is going to make the proper choice to come back home respectfully and not tarnished and damaged and guts removed and everything is up there.
So but do we put our partners, I guess they put themselves in the compromising position.
In front of a lion with the steak, I would say this.
Would you be willing to dangle your steak
question.
in front of the lion?
I would say yes, because I'm a lion as well. So me dangling my steak is me having my steak in my mouth. So if you are able as as another lion to say you want the steak out of my mouth, you better be prepared to tussle and tangle for that steak in my mouth, because I'm not letting my steak go. If that's my steak, I'm confident enough to know that genuinely, hey, this is mine. And when lions are confident, you will see a lion lay down, put his paws over his paws. He ain't worried about you walking around.
Now, I'm a traditional man.
I hear it.
I let all of that go, y'all.
I hear it. Go ahead.
But from a traditional standpoint,
go.
Me going to Hooters ain't the same as you going and playing Magic Mike.
Okay.
Me going to the Tilted Kilt ain't the same as me kicking back and being cool with somebody doing the worm while my wife play the floor.
For sure.
Me being a traditional man, there are some things that I would feel like would tarnish your virtue, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And anything within a traditional relationship that tarnishes the woman's virtue, I feel like is a no for me, dog. I feel like it's a no.
And you know what, Pops? I would go on record to say, genuinely, every woman, every man would have to be able to know what their no is and what their yes is.
I agree.
I would genuinely say just because somebody would have a no, don't mean that you should alter your yes to a no. And just because mine is a yes, don't mean that you should alter your no to a yes. Because
Facts.
in my head and my heart, I would look at it and say for what it is. When it comes down, because we were solely talking about the secure factor of if you could
No
go.
shit.
Like if you could go,
If you could go,
I
no.
would look at it and
You're
say
not
usually,
going, honey.
usually from the like because they talking about male people coming
Right,
out
right,
on the
right.
firm, they don't really know that these people are coming. These are
Okay.
surprise
Yeah,
dancers.
now
So
don't-
I'm not expecting my lady to be the female in the group saying, I gotta get up out of here. I gotta go. I'm expecting my lady to say, you know what? All right, respect.
Yeah,
I gotta respect my guy in the midst.
Yeah.
Now watch this. I'm gonna flip it.
Okay, get it.
I gotta respect my guy in the midst of these moments, no matter how that respect look. I gotta keep my virtue in these moments. Now I say that to say the flip side of it is you will hear men it will feel some type of way, but I think we have been outnumbered by women to the point where if you're a somebody, droves of women throw themselves at you. And she would have to have that trust factor of saying, I rock with you enough to say, I don't think you will abandon ship because other people are offering you a different cabin outside of the ship that we created and built.
No sugar.
So it's no different.
I mean, and I feel that, but there is a limit, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
For sure.
There's a limit, and there's some shit you're not gonna do. You just not gonna do it. Now you can do it if you want to. I'm not gonna say you can't do it because you can do it outside my address.
For sure.
But you plan on coming home. Don't come back with glitter all over you.
Okay, now my thing is this: the truth is stranger than fiction. I've came back home with glitter on me, and I didn't do nothing.
Yeah, hey, but you know what though? We've all been that guy.
So wait, and I want to pinpoint. I want to segue. Trust. Your guy come back home with glitter on his face, or glitter on his head, on his arm, on his
got
shirt.
it on his mouth.
He got it on his mouth.
He got the glitter on his mouth.
I'm gonna get through this because I got a flip side for the females. Do you trust your guy? He comes back in with glitter on
his mouth.
Do you trust him? For everybody that's
got glitter in his mustache.
And then I'm gonna flip it, Pops. If she comes home,
smell it like
even deeper. She goes to work and she comes home in a completely regular outfit, not work outfit, a regular outfit.
Oh, what?
Regular outfit. Like she went out the house with her uniform on. She came back in. She had a jeans on. She had a tank top on. Regular outfit, like the regular outfit.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some proof on everything.
So I was gonna ask. So is it the all right? I trust you, baby. That hey, you know what? Whatever happened at work involved you to change and X, Y, Z, A, B, C, or is it?
Look, dig, baby. If you left in a uniform and I didn't get no call talking about something that happened where it was this huge spill and I ain't getting no type of information like that up out of you all day and you come back home in a whole nother outfit. Yeah, I don't know.
Said if he come home with glitter on his mouth, we about to touch every wall.
Facts.
Okay, so look, my thing is this. My question is, where does the benefit of the doubt plays a part in the situation? Like, okay, so why talk to a person that if he comes home with glitter on his mouth, it's instant we touch the walls? Why is that? And I'm asking you, Pop.
Because he may have been touching walls outside the house.
Come on.
He may have been reconstructing. He may have been rebuilding. He may have been knocking out walls all day. Sledgehammer.
I'm going to say this. I think when it comes down to trust, we should talk to individuals that we trust. If your lady went out, you do have to put your passengers, her passenger seat has to have your trust in it. If you go out, you have to have her trust. It's true. You gotta have her trust.
I'm just laughing
because in the process of if he got glitter on his mouth. Okay, so look, I'm not gonna make an elaborate story. I'm gonna say on my end.
Uh-oh, here come
So
go.
watch this. My end. I end up having glitter on my face because of the cup that the place that I was at. That's what they offered. Now, mind you, the whole cup didn't have glitter on it.
It's one hell of a
No,
margarita.
now draw. The cup didn't have glitter on it, but the words of the cup had glitter on it. So like the actual cup didn't have glitter on it, but the logo of the cup, like the red like glitter of the logo, had it on there. Truth and Strange
makes
Fiction.
perfect sense to me.
So mind you, as a guy, we compartmentalize. We not thinking nothing of it. Shit, it's a cup.
Right, you ain't even looked and notice it's there.
Pops, you seeing me throughout this live? I grabbed my water at the same time. Did
But
drunk, move my hand. I did.
so you ain't
Did
even
this,
notice it was there.
Move my hand the whole nine.
Need to bring that cup home.
And mind you, in that moment, it's a thought of saying, when I did it, I didn't think nothing of it, but it took me to a person be like, you got glitter on your mouth. And as a guy, you panic instantly because you know that that conversation can lead to y'all touching walls. So you looking at it like, glitter.
Not me.
Shit, not me. Like, and it is glitter on you, but the truth is stranger than fiction, and that's where trust come into fact of, oh wait, baby, that's red glitter. It is Five Guys down the street, and they had a promotion, and that cup was the cup that you touched, and that's what had woo woo on it.
And let me tell y'all guys something. Sometimes it's the way you react to the situation. It's the way you react to the situation that make us look like we lying. Because if your lady asks you a question,
she said, "Sure, I heard that one before."
it's true, because it's like if your lady asks you a question, you have to know how to stay cool in the situation, because a lot of times you ain't done nothing.
But no, Pops.
But she'll ask you a question that catch you off guard.
That's not fair though, because think about this: if a guy pulled up on his female and she was out front talking to a coworker, and she had no malice intentions behind that coworker, she's gonna move and react a certain way. Like, she's gonna be good.
Whoa.
A guy though,
he gonna run up in the building.
You would damn near see your guy run full speed just to make it seem like, hey baby, I don't like her like that, because of the factors that's created to society.
And it is it's the aggression factor, ladies. Because ladies,
it be on y'all face that y'all want to touch the walls on the back end.
You know how you react when those situations happen. And not all, but I want you ladies to understand that there's some ladies that react like,
okay, I got a question.
And if you've ever been in that before, you know.
I got a question for all the ladies that's watching and that will watch.
Okay.
For the guy that you currently talk to and the guys that you talked to before, could you tell when he's lying?
That's a go.
Like, all bullshit. Not the insecure thing, but I'm serious. Like, I know he's lying. Like, can you genuinely know when that guy is lying? And then for the flip, I'm gonna ask for the men that's watching and that will watch. Could you tell when a woman was lying?
No.
Like, when she was lying in the midst of the moment, and like, and I'm not talking about she wasn't lying or she halfway. I'm talking about she was lying.
No.
Could you have tell, and why?
No, because,
and ladies, drop y'all answers too.
Women stay cooler in a lie than a man ever will. Not all, but women stay cooler. And you know why? Because the consequences most times are greater. Because a lot of men don't know how to react to situations. So you'll see a lot of women, they stay cool. They not gonna give it up. Women will take it to the happily hereafter. She will be up the hill with Aunt Joyce, pushing up daisies before you ever even know about it.
This is tough. Sometimes, because we watch you lie to other people, big or small, so we see it when you do it to us. We study how y'all lie every chance we get. Damn. And you know what? I'm gonna say this. Damn. Men do the same thing, because
not a lot of them.
But TP Pops, when I say this, with men, when they do the same thing, Pops, a man will study what what end he has to get in to get whatever he wants.
So
So
he studied. He studied
so
for a different
so
reason.
while a woman is studying like him lying and him not lying, a man is studying what is the end for me to get in.
What's
She
my
loves her kids, so I'm a good dad.
what's the weakest window?
She's a money getting person. I'm a money getting person.
What's the weakest window?
What's the weakest window for me to?
What's the weakest window?
So it's a mindset behind it. So I like that. I agree with that.
And I agree with it too. And because although I could sell water to a well, when it come down to Miss Pops,
Mhm.
she done seen through every lie I never told. And again,
It won't happen.
I'm a closer.
So okay,
Outside of the house, but inside,
I'm not.
she sees through every lie.
And you know what? I look at it and say it's almost like a superpower. And the reason why I ask that is because I don't think most men can tell when a woman is lying.
I don't either. They say they do. They will say they will, but they don't.
I would go on record to say when a woman is lying, I think genuinely the only way a man can tell when a woman is lying is
If he don't love her that much.
I was just gonna say from how she responds to him.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, hey, ladies, listen. If a man love you enough, love is like a blindfold to y'all eyes. Until he see it in his face.
Yeah.
That's why you see men react like they do.
Yeah.
Because a man, his ego don't allow him to see the lies that you tell him. And that's not a smart game to play. But at the same time, you'll see so many people use that against guys. Why do you think a lot of the ladies who are the transactional types will make each man think that he's the only man to maximize what she can get from him?
I agree, Pop. Hey, I would go on record to say this. One of the strongest things that I've noticed is the fact that when it comes down to finessing a guy out of his pockets or finessing a woman out of what they got going on, just looking at it, everybody is broken when they moving like that.
Fact.
Like that says a lot about your personality when you moving as such.
It's true.
But I want to segue really quick with you.
Okay.
Can you come back from a lie? Is it possible? And I don't mean we good. I mean, can you come back from a lie? If you find out your woman lied, if you find out your guy lied, can you come back from a lie? I mean, a Hiroshima lie.
Absolutely. You know why? And I'll tell you why. It depends. That depends on how much love they done put in that love bank. It depends on how much a deposit you done made in that love bank.
Okay.
The people who don't come back from it or can't recover from it is because the love before that lie wasn't enough. If she want him bad enough, he can come back from it. Sorry, y'all might not like it, but he can come back from it. If he want her bad enough, she can come back from it. Plenty of men is with women that they done said, and we ain't never gonna talk about this happened again. Plenty of marriages lasted for years because people said, you know what, we ain't gonna never talk about this again. It's a whole lot of people right now whose grandpa knew I ain't really that boy's daddy. But him and Granny made an agreement.
Yeah, hey, that's gonna be my baby.
That's gonna be my baby. So if you didn't invest it enough, you'll know. Okay. Because she might forgive you. If you haven't, you'll know. Because your ass is out.
Okay. Can you find love in old flings?
You can find love in the clothes hamper, as whether or not that shit gonna last.
Can you find longevity love in an old fling?
Probably not, because there was just a fling to you and it was back in the day. And what you're doing is you really just reaching back to read that book that was interesting to you, but you forgot why you put it down in the first place. But that eventually comes around.
Okay. I would go on record to say everybody that locked into this podcast, hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, this was one of the funnest pods that we've probably done in a long time. For everybody that's locked in, share it out, tap the screen, go crazy. I think it's always gonna be one of those feelings that it's always insightful to learn something and laugh in the process of learning, because a good conversation in 2025 is a breath of fresh air.
And hard to find. This has been the Golden Pop Show. And I hope you all did enjoy today. If you did and you haven't subscribed and you want to support the content that we putting out, tap that subscription button. I made it cheaper than a candy bar. And you're getting way more out of it than you are them empty calories you're getting from that Snicker. So do your thing and make sure you like and comment once you do watch this. We appreciate you, and we will be back tomorrow. I'm your man, Rice D, a.k.a. Pops the American Dad. And to my Facebook folks, Uncle Rice.
Mr. Gold, Go, or Coach G for short.
And we appreciate you.